presentation was going to be before they were banned and exactly who banned them. That story is up on Infowars.com. Gene Giant kicks OCA off South by Southwest food panel discussion. And the new push by the FDA and the EPA is to not label anything and to even remove drug labels and vaccine labels so that we can't hold up an MMR vaccine label when they say it's safe and effective and show you where it says it can give you epilepsy, narcolepsy, cancer, where it says it could kill you, where it says it could cause pancreatitis and then diabetes. It actually says that. We showed that a lot the last few weeks. That will no longer be available under the new legislation. So there's a major push to shut down information and then to persecute people like William Binney, who left the NSA back in 2001 when they started illegal spying against the American people in non-terror-related operations. And he quietly worked through the system, but it just didn't matter. They still came after him, but he defeated that. Others have not. Many people are languishing, including journalists, in jail right now for telling the public things that they had a duty to tell us because they were illegal. But we've gone from them under George Bush in 2005 or so, denying that they spied on anybody illegally, to now just throwing it in our face. So where is this revolution against privacy going? We'll be discussing that. Okay, here's some of the other news up on Infowars.com. You can't make this up. The story is from Raw Story, a Democratic Party-run organization. Leftist media claims if you support Second Amendment, you support rape. The headline actually says more guns on campus means rapists can rape women more. No, guns on campus would mean women would shoot rapists. In areas where concealed carry goes in, rape and robbery and things like carjacking go down massively. In fact, just show people the FBI headlines and the LA Times headline, gun crime drops, but perception is there's more. It's dropped by 52%, according to the Unified Crime Statistics of the Justice Department since 1992. Rapes have dropped in every state where gun ownership has proliferated. Women carrying guns in fanny packs in Florida, they've had major articles there, has caused basically women being raped in parks to go down to almost zero. But they say that, no, don't want Obamacare, you are racist. Don't want to turn your guns in, you want to rape women. As if criminals that are going to rape women wouldn't already have a gun illegally. Plus, most rapists physically beat women or hold them down or tie them up. They don't use guns to rape them. Just an incredibly bizarre article that we expose. Leftist media claims if you support Second Amendment, you support rape. Again, we're not left or right, but it's the so-called left, which bears no resemblance to Thomas Jefferson, what you call the father of liberalism in this country, who was pro-gun. These are totalitarians. Just like the Republican leadership, ladies and gentlemen, are going along with the FCC power grab of the internet. They're going along with the open borders. They're going along with shutting down our power plants without law. They're going along with putting our military under foreign jurisdiction. Incredible article we're going to be getting into. We're going to continue with really big financial news. China gaining Western allies as development bank partners, a blow to U.S. efforts. Recent shift has pointed out that the rise of China and their aim to become a major part of the new global reserve currency and hence a major force in the new global order. And Dr. Paul Craig Roberts writes about it, former deputy head of the Treasury Department, says cracks in Washington's empire, Washington's EU vassals might be finding their backbone. With plan to join China-led bank, Britain opens the door for others. That's out of the New York Times. So I got a bunch of articles on that we're going to be breaking down today as well. Meanwhile, we see record cold temperatures on the East Coast and record dryness on areas of the West Coast. We'll break down. I'll give you my view on what's happening there. Meanwhile, when we return from this break, Pentagon loses track of $500 million in weapons, equipment given to Yemen. Yeah, I bet they lost track. That stuff's being sent to Al-Qaeda and ISIS in Syria. Iran, Hezbollah have now been left off the terror threat listing. So they've now removed Hezbollah off the terror listing, but the Tea Party's basically listed. JW gets records that show Al-Qaeda terrorists may have been government source. Judicial Watch. It's all coming up straight ahead.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Attention all radio listeners. Survival Life is giving away free credit card knives exclusively to our radio listeners here today. Visit mycreditcardknife.com to see this covert knife in action and claim yours for free. It's the same knife you've seen in the airline magazines for $29.95, but today it's yours free. Just pay shipping and handling. mycreditcardknife.com, mycreditcardknife.com. Go now.
Hey, how you doing, Al?
Good, brother.
Just recently started using your products. Everything you said about them's correct. Me and my wife both use a lot of them, and it's made a lot of changes in our lives here.
Well, thank you, brother. It's because it also funds our operation, but doing that, I know I've got to have the highest quality. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals.
We do the Super Male and the Super Female Vitality. Big changes, a lot of energy. We've gotten off of the cheap energy drinks, energy shots, saving a ton of money there.
Sourced from powerful organic herbs, harvested around the planet, and then concentrated or maximum potency. They want to stun and dumb down, and energy drinks and stuff just cover that up for a while, but then burn you out in my experience, whereas stuff that gets your glands naturally going goes right to the source. So it's pretty exciting, and I love it. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
You can prevent being the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
As the New World Order continues to tighten its grip on every facet of our lives, we're all asking ourselves, how can we maintain our independence? The answer is clear. Get prepared, and you get prepared now. Now the only question left is, where do we begin? My Patriot Supply is here to help. Call 800-247-3070 to get started with your 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10. We're even covering the cost of shipping. Are you willing to rely on the government and FEMA in the event of an emergency? Call 800-274-3070 to get started with your 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10. You won't be able to find this deal online, and there is a strict limit of 4 per caller, so don't wait. Call now, 800-274-3070. That's 800-274-3070. Call right now.
They came and took it all away.
They came and took it all.
You know, I'm moving quick here because there's so much news, and I want to drill more into this, but I tell you, it's kind of hard to do the show with William Binney in there, biggest government whistleblower pretty much of all time, and all these questions we're coming up with to discuss once he's in here in studio with us. It's really exciting what's happening. He's seeing a lot of people finally get it, a huge awakening taking place. He was just in Munich, Germany with Oliver Stone, who is going to do an interview with Snowden for an upcoming huge film. He was just here at South by Southwest giving speeches and saw a huge response. So there's a lot of positive things happening. They tried to put him in prison. They tried to shut him down, but he's here taking action, and that is so exciting. That's the best part about having this job, is that I get to be around such amazing people, such amazing heroes. You know, the average person would get around Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Brett Favre or somebody and start shaking in their shoes. I could care less. Great, you can throw a basketball in a hoop, you can play football, wonderful. But people that face prison, people that go through persecution, people that give up, you know, directorships, a whole section of the NSA to tell the truth, and then the system tries to suppress them and tries to keep them from the public view, and then the system fails. That is just incredibly, incredibly exciting on so many fronts. And so we're here today to shoot a little mini documentary with Mr. Benning, and then again we're going to have him live in studio with us. But before we go any further, let me just say that I'm also going to be opening the phones up in the next segment, specifically on this piece of news. Pentagon loses track. I mentioned this in the last segment, of $500 million in weapons equipment given to Yemen. The Washington Post reports. It's the same story over and over again. Oh, we lost track in Iraq. Oh, we lost track in Saudi Arabia. Oh, we lost track in Qatar. Oh, we lost track in Yemen. Oh, we lost track. Oh, Turkey's giving artillery support to this Free Syrian Army, which is really Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Oh, but now we're buddies with Assad and want to defeat them, and are buddies with Iran. And that leads us to the next story. Iran, Hezbollah. This is out of RT. It's posted on Infowars.com. Iran and Hezbollah. Hezbollah is their militia worldwide fighting force. Iran, Hezbollah left us off U.S. terror threat listing. So Iran and Hezbollah have been left off U.S. terror threat listing. Now listen, I don't want war with Iran. I don't support some of those moves to do that. But at the same time, if you're going to list conservative libertarian groups as extremists and with terrorists, if you're going to train the Pentagon to take on land rights activists, if you set up Homeland Security to supposedly deal with Hezbollah and Hamas, who do target civilians, you could argue that they are in the terrorist class. But to remove the big enchilada, Hezbollah, from the list shows just how bizarre all of this has really gotten. But don't worry, there are FBI task forces nationwide harassing gun shows with the ATF, trying to find out if an old guy goes and sells some of his guns to raise money. I see these cases all the time. It's almost always some 75, 80-year-old guy. His wife's died. In one case we covered, he's going bankrupt. He's got to have surgery. He goes in to sell 8, 9 guns he's had for decades. He's not a federal firearms dealer. It's legal for him to sell them because he's not a dealer. He's just getting rid of personal guns. And they arrest him, they railroad him, they indict him, and have a federal kangaroo jury send him to prison, and they die in prison. But Hezbollah is not terrorist. And, we can come up missing $500 million in weapons in Yemen. And I've seen this type of story, no exaggeration, 500 times or more. This is out of Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch gets records that show Al-Qaeda terrorist may have been government source. Judicial Watch has obtained records of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement that indicate Al-Qaeda terrorists who helped plan several U.S. attacks, including plots to blow up Oprah Winfrey's studios and detonate nuclear devices in multiple U.S. cities, was a confidential source informant for the government. Well, of course, most of these guys are, and probably never planned any of this, and they just burned him. I mean, do you really believe this guy had nukes? It's come out in the New York Times that almost every terror attack that they've cooked up has been with a mentally ill person or some patsy who was an informant who they say, yeah, take the bomb over here, and then they set them up. I'm not saying there aren't radical Islamicists or terrorists. Oh, there are, and they're under the employ of the West. The West works with them to destabilize, and they use their threat as a way to take liberties and promote illegal spying. But when it comes to people they bust, they don't throw away good terrorists they could be using. They only bust patsies and chumps and fools. So listen, if you're an Arab American or a Muslim American or Brit or whatever, I've seen this literally hundreds of times. If you get approached to be part of a drill of Muslims bombing something, do not be part of it, because believe me, you're going to end up in the Supermax prison. So don't be stupid. All right, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give out the number, and we're going to hit a bunch of really important news on the economy.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
sold out for weeks.